My name is Andrei.
And my name is Dennis. And together, we're going to be presenting this very special webinar on push notifications.
Right, but before we start, guys, please let us know if you can see and hear us well. Just text us a couple of messages in the chat about the quality of picture and sound. Lots of messages from you already.
You guys couldn't wait to start typing, huh?
Yeah, obviously. Apart from your comments on quality of picture and sound, please make sure that you forward all your questions in the questions tab. You can see that from the right in the webinar menu. Last time, how many questions have we got during the webinar?
Over 900.
Yeah, so within the chat messages, it was 900 messages that we got, and some of them were questions. So it was pretty challenging for us to extract those and answer them after that. So make sure all of the questions are in the questions tab.
So we'll remind you about this again soon because there's more and more people going in. As you can see on your screen, we have the chat. That's exactly where you all are going crazy right now. And then we have right next to it the questions tab. Any kind of question you have that's related to push notifications or Propeller Ads, shoot it in there. Yeah. And we'll make sure it gets answered.
There is quite a few good news that we wanted to share with you. For those of you who attend this webinar, in the end, we will share a promo code, and we'll give you more details about that by the end of the event.
But a short description is this. You're going to be receiving a promo code that's going to be giving you money, well, basically free money once you deposit to run advertisements. We also have the same promotion going as last time for the best question. So we're going to be giving out $100 to the best question that's asked, that was asked, right?
Yeah, okay. Correct. So yeah, now let's move forward and discuss the topic of the webinar, of the event that we are going to host today. And the topic is dedicated to one of our advertising formats, which is native push notifications. Yeah, here is an agenda of the webinar, and the first thing that we will talk about is the basic description of an ad format. We will discuss how these push notifications differ from app notifications. Then we will move forward to all of the benefits that you guys are getting when launching your campaigns with push notifications, and all kinds of stuff that makes it ideal to some of you. On top of that, we will discuss best performing verticals and go through the process of launching your campaigns in PropellerAds.
That's right. And when we're done with this, we're going to be going over something very special. We've spoken to quite a few advertisers who had success with push notifications, and we found two excellent performing ads. And we're going to give you guys a walkthrough, a basic hands-on guide on what these guys did, and you guys can literally replicate what they did and, well, follow their footsteps. Once we're done with this, we're going to be moving to point number 6. Now, point number 6, we're going to be speaking about optimization, probably the most important thing that you need to do after you start your campaigns. We're going to show you basically how to optimize a push notifications campaign. Moving on, we're going to be going over the do's and don'ts of creatives. So we're going to show you guys what's important there. And finally, right before we go into the questions and answers, we're going to be going over the tricks of the trade. Now, that's where things get interesting, because there we're going to give you a very important tip on how you guys can achieve success with push notifications.
Right. But now let's move forward with the description of the ad format. And here is a basic example of how push notifications ads look like. When launching your campaigns, you can choose between multiple settings of creatives to be adjusted, and they are title, description, icon, and quite recently we've added an option of using a big size banner as well. So yeah, it's a short message with all those pictures that you select, and this is the very basic description of how it looks like.
Right, soon you guys are going to see more information on this. What you see on your screen right now is exactly how it looks on mobile and desktop. On the desktop, you have the icon and the text, and on the mobile, you have the icon, the text, and the image. So soon we're going to explain all of this.
Correct, but this actually looks like a bit like app notifications as well. So I think it's worth covering what is the difference between app notifications and push notifications.
Very correct, and I'd love to explain the difference. So we get a lot of questions, or well, I got a lot of questions in the last couple of weeks and months, which basically confused advertisers. They thought that this is app push notifications. It's not. It's actually totally the opposite. Here's what app push notifications is. For app push notifications, you guys need to have an app, and you're only targeting users who have that app, right? So, and you're only restricted to mobiles. That means that your audience is very, 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 very small. You're very limited. On the other side, native push notifications, that's the one we're speaking about here, and the one we're going to be presenting for you guys. You only need to have a website, or actually you can only have an offer. You don't even need to have your own website.
Yeah, you need to basically have anything to promote. But
Exactly.
Bottom line is obviously a website or a landing page.
Now, the best thing here is you guys don't need to have your own audience, because we have over 60 million subscribers, real verified subscribers, and that number just keeps growing on a weekly basis. So we're investing very heavily into this ad format. And the final point that I need to tell you guys is that you can target your audience.
Yeah.
How do you do that, Andre?
Yeah, you can basically target your audience by countries, by device types, by cities, and multiple other options that we are going to discuss later today. But now that you covered a little bit the topic of benefits of push notifications compared to app notifications, let's continue it and describe other benefits. And obviously, one of the first things that comes to your mind is that this ad format is native. And by saying native, we mean that the fact that it appears in your customer's personal feed alongside with other notifications from Facebook, weather apps, emails, and so on, it makes it native, right?
That's right.
Just think about the fact how used you are to browse through those notifications and how natural it feels to you. And then within those, you see an ad, so the interaction is pretty natural for most of the users. Besides that, we keep this ad format completely non-intrusive. Users are not disturbed by the number of notifications that they get. So this is all under our control. And this makes the audience which you guys are offered very friendly and open to the offers that you are running.
That's right. That's right. So the biggest point here is that what Andre said about the native side is it comes right there. As you see on your screen right now, you see Twitter, you see Hot News, and you see Facebook. People interact with these applications, especially with their Gmail or other email accounts that pop up there. That is exactly where the ad comes up, especially on the mobile phone. So it's much, the CTR rate is quite high. In some cases, even abnormally high.
Correct. So now let's continue with the next point.
And this is my favorite point here. To me, the biggest benefit that push notification gives to you guys is that it gives you real traffic. It is virtually impossible for bots to currently use push notifications. And as my good friend here, Andre, explained to me in good detail, because he has a lot of technical knowledge, he explained to me that, well, currently bots can't swipe.
Yeah, we didn't experience any problems in terms of fraud traffic with push notifications, so it shouldn't be a concern at all.
Right. The other benefit here is that users can unsubscribe at any given time. And anyway, it's real traffic. It's 100% real traffic. So it's a whole different ballgame here. And we're really excited about this ad format.
Right. Now, to summarize the description that we provided, think about the basic fact about the amount of time we spend with our devices on daily basis. We wake up, we take our phone, we check all the notifications that we got. During the day, we use our laptops, we work with it, we go to sleep with our smartphones, checking everything there. So the amount of time we spend with it, checking notifications, is incredible. And this is basically the fact, one of the facts which makes this ad format very highly viewable. Apart from that, you also don't need to visit any website or source to see these ads. So you only need to check your device. That's it. So these are two factors which create very high viewability of the ad format, and as a result, high CTR. So native traffic, very high viewability and high CTR because of being just, you know, convenient to users.
That's right. So the point here is that people use smartphones and their computers at all times. Personally, me and Andrei, we're both sitting right here with our phones, right? So, and the first thing I do in the morning when I wake up, like 99.9% of you guys, is check my phone. That's exactly the same thing I do before I go to bed. So the click-through rates on this stuff is very high.
Correct. That's absolutely true.
Okay, so let's continue. The second biggest benefit I find with push notifications is the fact that it is compliant with Google's policy, and further to that, with the better ad standard. So push notifications is not blocked by most of the major and popular ad blockers. And best of all, it is considered to be a user-friendly ad format.
Yeah, and being user-friendly ad format, compliant with Google and better ads policies, it means that it is suitable for most of the advertisers on the market. So it's a great opportunity for you guys to reach out to those who didn't agree to promote with on-click, let's say. Now with push notifications, there's a number of new opportunities open to you. So yeah, that's definitely a fact to consider. Now let's move forward to the process, to the description of the process, how we collect subscribers for push notifications. We received quite a few questions about that in the chat already. So the process is simple. Users visit the website with the content, they enjoy it, and during the process they are being offered to allow notifications within the browser.
Right.
And once they confirm these notifications to be sent, they start receiving ads. And once again, at any point of time, users can unsubscribe from them, which makes this ad format completely voluntary. And that's another thing which really differs this ad format from others.
That's right. It's a whole different ballgame with this. And the process is pretty simple. You can see it's a 4-stage, 5-stage process if they unsubscribe, but normally a 4-stage process. And over 60 million people have done it so far.
Yeah, actually the unsubscribe rate is pretty low so far.
Yes.
So yeah, here's how it looks like on desktop and mobile. And one thing we didn't mention yet is that within mobile devices, we are currently offering only Android, as iOS is not providing a possibility to send browser notifications yet. But at some point, hopefully, we're gonna crack the code and.
Well, we got a big group of very smart developers, and these guys they work 24/7.
Yeah, but let's dream about that for now and stick with Android, which actually performs quite well for most of the verticals.
That's right. So before we go into the top verticals right now, I want to just make sure to remind you guys, we got more than 100 new people in here since we last said this. Questions. You guys have lots of them. Questions should be and must be directed to the questions tab. Give us time and we will answer them because we want to go over the presentation. Most of your questions will be answered in this presentation. And the ones that are not answered, you will get an email with them. Or if we don't answer them to the actual PowerPoint, well, then you'll still get a reply. But if you shoot your questions in the chat box, well, you run the risk of not getting an answer. So if you have asked a question in the chat box, make sure you move it to the questions tab in this program so you guys can get an answer.
Yeah, there was a funny question from Jody just recently. She said that we are collecting the user base by saying confirm if you're over 18 years of age. But no, we are pretty straightforward in terms of how we collect subscribers base, and we are always offering direct phrase of an offer to subscribe to the notifications of the website. So there are no tricks about that. We are pretty serious about the attitude that we have to our audience.
Yeah, and you couldn't have seen our pre-landers because we don't collect traffic with pre-landers. We get traffic from publishers.
Yeah, it's different. Anyway,
let's continue. So here's the top performing verticals for push notifications. I'm going to go over the ones that are generating extraordinary results right now, and then I'll move to the other ones and explain them in detail as well. So the 4 verticals that are generating extraordinary results are betting, binary, crypto, and sweepstakes. And even dating, right? It works well. So these 4, that I've just mentioned are generating very, very good results. They do fall under the same vertical, which is finance. But I got to tell you guys that we've seen very, very good results with e-commerce, nutrition, entertainment, and cash on demand. Just the point here is that you need to spend a little more time working on the ad and on the offering so you can actually generate good results.
Yeah.
But a fun fact, I've seen with my own eyes people working in e-commerce and nutrition making more money than betting in binary. But the point is there's less of them.
Yeah, right. Like always, you just need to find your own way to convert offers. But why do you think those financial related verticals are more successful generally with push notifications?
That's a really good question. Well, the basic point comes down to psychology, I believe, because on betting, binary, crypto, and sweepstakes, people are offered a chance to spend money to make money, right? They're giving their money, it's an investment. They're giving their money and they have a chance of making it, making more money in return. So it's easier to sell this kind of products. Whereas on the other side, for e-commerce, entertainment, nutrition, and things like this, you spend. It's a consumer's product. So you're spending to get something back, but not money. So either a service or an actual product.
So it's all about the idea behind the product that you're promoting, basically.
Right.
And the reason why financial verticals perform better is due to the fact that you are more or less selling the dream to people.
Yes, so I believe they can promote quicker, but I believe they both can perform very, very, very well because, hey, we're all consumers. We all need new clothes. We all need new shoes. We need new phones. We need dieting products, nutrition products, and so forth. So they can all perform excellently if you just take your time with it, right? You don't rush. It's about persistence, but also trial and error at the same time.
The good thing about this webinar is that today we are going to share both sides of these top performing verticals, and we will share some insights about what is the funnel of advertising you should be using to succeed with both of those. So now let's move forward to the process of launching your push notifications campaign. And obviously the first choice that you are facing here is defining your testing budget. We get these questions on a daily basis. How much do I need to spend here and there? How many impressions do I need to send to this particular offer? How much is necessary for A/B testing, and so on? So the strategy that we are offering here is to focus on your CPA goals. And by CPA goals, we mean that these are the payouts that you are offered by networks or direct advertisers. Now with high CPA goals, for example, when you aim to bring depositors with payouts of $250+, let's say, from our experience, you need to spend at least 1.5 times higher of money, like traffic-wise.
Right.
And with low CPA goals, the situation is slightly different. You need to spend on average around 3 times more than your payout. But the great thing is that after spending this testing budget, in around 80% of the cases, you do possess enough knowledge on how to build like a successful campaign with this product, with this piece of traffic. So you figure out what kind of targeting options are performing, what kind of zones are performing for you. So normally this is the strategy to stick with when you define your testing budget.
It's a really good explanation.
Yep, right. So now let's move forward to the next thing. And
well, look, it's about targeting right now in geos. We highly recommend choosing, when you're setting up a campaign, you set 1 geo per 1 ad campaign. Very soon, in about 2 to 3 slides, you guys are going to see a well-structured campaign. You're going to see a graph of a well-structured campaign that, guys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, if you're serious about your advertising, business, you will have to follow. Not only with push notifications, but with everything else you're doing.
So yeah, pay like lots of attention right now, because this is not just a promotion of ad format. These are the tools of how you guys will manage to achieve better results with your campaigns. So this is definitely something that will help every one of you.
That's right. And before we go into that, I want to just make sure you guys know that in our interest is successful advertisers. In short, if you guys don't succeed with advertisements, with buying our traffic, things don't work out, you basically stop spending money with us and we don't make any money. That means it's literally all we're looking for is a win-win situation. And what we're going to be telling you right now is extremely important. So give us your eyes, your ears, and your attention for the next, well, for the rest of the webinar.
Okay. So what you started with is that you need to divide your campaigns on a geo level, right?
Yes.
Okay. And the next thing to do here is to, what do you think?
The next thing to do, we have to diversify them with mobile and desktop. We have to split them up. So you go geo, and then geo, when you open it up, you will have to split desktop on one side, mobile on one side. You're going to see an illustration right now about this. Yeah. Yeah,
we're going to show a well-structured campaign later on a chart. But now let's continue with the fact that you need to obviously test and prepare multiple sets of creatives, be frequent with rotation of them, and change them at least bi-weekly, not to get your audience bored, and to make sure that if user didn't interact with your ads like 2, 3 times, 4 times, you either change the frequency or you show something else to them. So don't waste your money for nothing, and make sure you do enough research and work to improve your results of your creatives. One last thing to talk about here is speaking audience's language. And besides from the fact that promoting stuff in China, you need to use Chinese creatives, obviously, your push notifications creatives always need to match your landing pages language as well. So these are just a few things to remind you about.
That's right. There is another thing that you guys can do to increase the effectiveness of your campaigns, and that's the good old A/B testing. A/B testing is literally the best way to figure out what kind of content is performing the best way for your target audience. So soon you're going to see this illustration. I believe it's coming up.
Yeah, it's the very next slide, actually.
Okay, let's go straight to that slide so we can show you exactly what we mean.
Yeah, so here we are. This is a correctly structured campaign. As you can see, by the target audience, we basically mean the product that you decided to promote. It is splitted by 2 geos, and then each geo is splitted by platforms. And then for each of the selected platforms, you do A/B testing with different creatives. So eventually, per 1 geo, you need to create 4 campaigns if you test 2 platforms, let's say, and 2 creatives for each platform. And by the means of doing that, you will be able to, first of all, stop those targetings which are not performing for you well, like this. So you just press one button, stop, and that's it. You are done with it. Besides that, you have a better piece of information to analyze and decide where you are heading to improve your ROI. And yeah, as a result, it's a general success for you when you can analyze your data in the right way and control it in a fast manner. That's all what you need.
Right. And here's the big idea with this. Setting up your campaign this way will take a little bit more time. And I'm not talking about hours. I'm talking about a few extra minutes. But your future self will literally thank you because you're helping yourself in the future. It's all about being organized. You know, Ben Franklin always used to say, there is a really famous quote of him, which says, if you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail. This is you preparing, right? And that's the way to avoid failure. By doing this, you're going to be able to, 1, optimize quickly, efficiently. 2, save a lot of time. And 3, increase the effectiveness of your actual campaign. So structuring your campaign this way gives you 3 excellent benefits. I could probably find more, but I just said time, money, and effectiveness. I should not give you more reasons for you to follow this approach.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So now that we discussed a well-structured A/B testing, it's pretty crucial to take into consideration the policies that we have. So here, our main focus is obviously on quality of ads, which we are delivering to our audience. And by saying that we focus on quality, obviously we try to avoid misleading ads on our traffic. It doesn't perform generally for you. It doesn't affect in a positive way the audience. So that's why we try to keep it very limited and not to accept it. And then Yeah, another fact is that if something is not allowed on push notifications, if you're really willing to launch your campaign, but you couldn't with push, there is always a chance to try it with on-click, as our policy are slightly different for these two ad formats.
So when Andrew's talking about quality, think of it like this. If you guys are running a push notifications campaign on CPM or CPC, regardless, and you use a misleading text image icon, you're going to drive probably a lot of traffic to your landing page. But unless that traffic is quality traffic and relevant traffic towards your ad, you're basically going to be throwing your money away. And that's one thing you shouldn't be doing unless you have too much of it.
Yeah, right. But we'll discuss about misleading quite a few times.
That's right.
Today. Now let's talk about a few examples which are not accepted. And the first thing is sexual wellness products, software or applications with automatic dialing. Guys, it is not accepted as well. Like phone calling with automated system in it. No, not for push notifications.
That's right. And there is plenty of other ones. We're going to be going to the next slide. You can't use scary and offensive messages such as the one you see here, this big fat belly, and it says, are you too fat? Lose weight, magic weight pills and things like this. It just doesn't work. Also sexually provocative or suggestive texts. You had a really good explanation about this one.
Yeah, I was thinking about the situation of the guy getting some, let's say, dating notification saying that, hey, sweetie, you want to chat with the sexual picture on it? And then there's your girl sitting next to you, and she checks that. And what do you do? What do you do in that situation? That, like,
you're in trouble.
Yeah, the only thing, the only situation when this type of ad would work is if it would redirect to a lawyer's page or something.
That's right, the divorce lawyer's page, and that's one thing to think about, right? So
make sure you don't create problems for people, and you don't offend them with your push notifications.
There are more, though. There are more, and we're moving to the next slide. You cannot use words such as Google, virus, malware, threat, and similar ones. They're basically not permitted in any context because, well, if they're also related to risk of data loss or a security breach. Yeah,
make sure you don't use someone else's brand, as it doesn't belong to you. Obviously, you don't have the rights to do that. Create your own brand and promote it with push notifications. That's the way to go.
That is the way to go.
Yeah. So another thing which is not accepted is sweepstakes scams. You can offer a chance to win something, but you cannot guarantee that. You cannot say that you're one step away of winning something, of getting something, whatever. So once again, misleading context here is not acceptable. But sometimes it's acceptable on click. So if you are really into sweepstakes, try running them on click at first.
Well, traditionally they work on click, so
yeah.
I mean, why not continue?
Yeah, and the last but not least, you are also not allowed to use celebrities and politicians' names to promote your product with phrases like "secret diet of Donald Trump is finally revealed."
I don't think anyone's going to click on that.
Yeah, very low CTR campaign it would be. But anyway, don't do that as well. So I think we're finally we finally summarized everything that you need to consider about when you create your push notifications creatives, and we are good to move to choosing your bidding model. Now with push notifications, we have two options available. First is cost per click, and the minimum bid here is just 1 cent per click, of course depending on the geo, but still that's the minimum option you can choose. And the other option is CPM. Classic cost per 1,000 impressions with the minimum bid of 10 cents per 1K impressions. And what we do recommend for you guys is to use both, to test both of these models, as they have slightly different algorithms of the way they operate, of the way traffic is delivered to your campaigns. And we will open this topic a little bit more just now.
Right. So on the CPC model, basically what you do is you allow yourself to set the amount that you could pay for each click on your ads. You won't go lower, you won't go higher. For example, you set it at 1 cent for Malaysia, you're going to be paying 1 cent per click. CPC is a way to pay only for the users that are coming to your landing page or pre-lander or app or whatever you're promoting. So you're not paying for the impressions, you're only paying for the clicks.
Yeah, for the clicks made on the notifications, which makes this bidding model very interested to those who are willing to spend only on clicks for users of users who are interested in your products. One of the examples is that if you're promoting a car paint, let's say, non-car owner won't click your ad. As simple as that. But there is a slight problem with CPC about controlling the volumes of traffic.
Right.
So the reason why it might be problematic for some of you is because volumes of traffic here, they depend on the combination of CTR and CPC price that you select. These two, eventually, they create eCPM for your campaign. It is compared with other campaigns within the network, and then system automatically allocates traffic to it. So if you are struggling to control your CTR or CPC price in a right way, there is always another option, which is CPM model, something that all of us are used to. Now let's continue with the CPM model. And yeah, here this model allows you to predict the price in an easy manner. And another thing which is great about CPM, that you can adjust your bid, and by adjusting your bid, you control which zones are linked to your campaign and what are the volumes that you are receiving. So with CPC campaign, it's sort of automatic. So system evaluates your CPM and then decides which zone are linked and what is the quantity that you are getting. And with CPM, it's very manual, and you're free to choose whatever you want to do.
That's right. Now, it's very important for you guys to understand that when you're starting up with push notifications, regardless of what kind of vertical you're promoting in, we highly, highly, highly recommend that you test both CPC and CPM. Because I've seen with my own two eyes virtually a very similar product working great on CPM for one customer and not working out for another guy on CPC. And the same goes for many, many, many different offers. So make sure you test it out. And Andrzej gave you guys the budgets that you should use, the rough idea of the budget you should use for testing. So make sure you run both CPM and CPC and see what works best for you.
Yeah, so it's not just, you know, testing those two for no reason. There are exact technical reasons of the difference how the traffic is allocated to your campaigns. So there is a high chance that if you didn't succeed with CPC campaigns, it might be just due to the fact that not the right zones, not the relevant zones were linked to your CPC campaign. So make sure you test this exact campaign with CPM, with different zones, and this might bring you significantly different results.
And quick catch up on the chat there. Dating works fine. I already mentioned it. It's a very hot topic, but it has to be clean and nice. And we're going to explain quite a bit about this once we come to the case studies. And wow, we're here.
Yeah, finally.
Okay.
Now, during the previous webinar, we had lots of requests regarding the cases to be opened, something exact that you can use and run. So here we are. We changed the structure of the webinar slightly, and we have two great cases to share with you.
That's right. So the first one we're going to be going over is from an affiliate program, Kingfin. Now, one of the affiliates taking an offer from here allowed us to share his or her results with you guys. But before we go into this, maybe some of you guys are not familiar with Kingfin. So I'm going to go over some basic information. Actually, I'm going to go over 3 key points that you guys need to know. First, Kingfin offers affiliates high payouts by the revenue share model, and they pay out usually within 3 days. Second, they give you guys a lot of promotional material, such as landing pages, videos, reviews, and so forth. And finally, they accept traffic from virtually the whole world. And that's ironically where we have the traffic from.
Yeah,
the whole world.
And another reason why Kingfin is obviously because it performs for quite a while, and we are going to show it on the exact example of a campaign which was launched by this particular affiliate.
Now, the product we're going to be speaking about in the beginning is an a financial product.
Yeah, right. So it's a financial vertical. The geo which is chosen in this particular example is Philippines, and the reason why we brought this example up is because the traffic is cheap. most of people speak English, so it's easy to create different promos here. And besides that, we always recommend to start testing with tier 2, tier 3 countries, because there is quite low competition there. The traffic price is cheap, so it's a great way for you to figure out if offer is performing at all. Now, the bidding model which was chosen here is CPC, and the bid was just 1 cent per click.
So guys, pay attention to your screens right now, because you're going to be watching screenshots from the actual account. As you see right now, you see the first stage of creating the actual ad campaign. You can see the name. You can see the bidding model, which is CPC, as Andrei said. The ad format is push notifications. You see the target URL, frequency, capping.
Right, so the next stage here is choosing the country of promotion and your advertising budget. And once you select your CPC rate and the country, traffic estimator starts to adjust the information. And basically what it tells you is the amount of traffic available within the network for the targeted traffic, for the targeted slice of traffic. So it's not something that you will get by guarantee. It's something that you will compete for, let's say. It's something that you can potentially get.
Right. So you see the targeting. This affiliate decided to go with just desktop, which is both mobile, which is both Windows and Mac, and he did not choose to go with Android, tablets and phones and things like this.
Yeah. So here we are with the push notifications creative finally. Dennis, can you explain why this push notifications creative is performing well for the advertiser?
Right. So you can see that the advertiser chose to use both an icon and an image. Also use the title and the description, which is kind of mandatory. You can see a nice little image there of a pretty Asian girl. You see a nice flashing car with a, well, the image is clearly taken from a phone, so it looks more realistic. You see that in the title, since this is targeting the Philippines, right?
Yep.
You can see that they're targeting a city. Well, the title has a city, a local city, making it more friendly to the, more friendly and more
personalized.
Personalized, right, to the users. And then you see a dollar value there as well. So I think this is a top-notch advertisement right there.
And so it's basically just attractive within like each and every setting which was adjusted here for each image and piece of text.
Right. So this is exactly what users saw on their phone. If you guys remember in the beginning, we showed you how it looks with a taxi ad. Well, this is what they saw.
Right. And after clicking these push notifications, users are getting redirected to the pre-lender. Now, sorry. Pre-lender is not something obligatory and not something we recommend with most of the offers, but in particular with the financial vertical, it performs pretty good in most of the cases.
Right.
Now, for the financial vertical, something that we recommend to use is storytelling, explaining all the benefits of the product, and obviously providing some customer reviews and like some information that is catching up the attention, triggering the interest even more after push notifications, and then offering to proceed to the actual landing page, to the lead generation form.
So I want to tell you guys why this pre-lender is really effective and why this advertisement was pretty smart. First, you see the image of the girl, you see the text, and then you see the car. Now, when a user clicks on this, he comes to this pre-lender where he sees the same dollar value, he sees the picture of the same girl, and when he scrolls down, which we didn't do here, but when you scroll down, you see the same car, multiple pictures of it, and that exact same girl, I believe, standing in front of that car. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's what I saw.
So what you're saying is that there is no contradiction between push notifications creative and pre-lender?
No, it's the same thing. It's following a nice little process, making it look even more realistic. So
the funnel of advertising here is really like even. So in terms of the information provided to the user.
It's accurate. What they click on, they get to see, right?
Right.
They didn't click on an Asian girl and came and saw, you know, a Norwegian blonde girl, you know?
Yeah, that would be weird. So the next slide here will describe you the choices of landing pages which is offered by KingThing, and there is a number of options which you can choose. You just select one, copy your affiliate link, and start the promotion with push notifications. As simple as that. Now, the most interesting part, the results here. And here you can see that within just 7 days, advertiser has generated 16,500 clicks. CTR was just half of a percent, which is actually something to be improved. I believe that these numbers were generated before the optimization, most certainly. And then the cost was just $160 with the 24 registrations delivered. And even if one registration was worth of $1, obviously the ROI here is more than positive.
But the fun fact is that it wasn't worth $1. It was more, right?
Yeah. So yeah, obviously this is something that works within the financial vertical. This is just an example for you guys to understand what kind of creative combinations are performing in the most effective way, and for you to pay attention on their ideas which you guys need to promote. So once again, attractive girls, cars, monetary signs, storytelling, success stories, everything. So you trigger the interest, and then you bring the audience to the landing page.
In short, they warm up the audience, right? So if there's one thing to be learned here, is that you use the same, well, your push notification should match the landing page or the pre-lander. Don't make it two different things. Follow the process, warm the lead up, because the reason somebody clicked on that ad is because that generated interest. That specific notification that they received, that's what they were interested in. And once they come, they get to read more of the same, but with much more information, with a true story, storytelling, increasing the eagerness and the wantingness of the user, and then following to a landing page. Jody, the geo was Philippines.
That's our favorite commentator in the chat today.
Yeah.
Now let's move forward to the second case study, which is a nutrition offer. The name is EcoSlim, Malaysia, CPC, 1 cent per click. Once again, you can get this one in ad combo. And now let's take a look at the landing page which was used. Once again, nothing special here, just a regular lead generation form which describes the product, and that's it. But one interesting thing which was used by an advertiser here was used on a push notifications. Dennis, can you elaborate on that one?
Right. So this is where things get interesting. You see that the user here used an icon. He used the text, not much of it. And then in the image, you see a much more text. That's the difference between us and everyone else.
Yeah, correct. So, for example, in Facebook, you are not allowed to use an overlay of text with more than 20%. Now, with PropellerAds, you don't have these limitations. And from my perspective, one of the reasons why this particular campaign was successful, apart with other campaigns using the same strategy, was that advertisers were using this banner space for providing more information in text format. So this is definitely one of the strategies for you guys to try, at least within A/B testing.
That's right. Now, guys, one very important clarification here. Success is not achieved quickly. These people here, they tested and they tried. They're giving you, with their approval, we received this information from them, and they're basically giving you, access to their information that they use to make money. Which is obviously not the case on the market. No one wants to share successful combinations of targeting options, creatives, products, and so on. But as an exception, we are showing you that this is the result which is achieved by advertisers when performing enough research and testing. So basically, this is where you guys need to be heading to. That's right. Now let's go through the other settings which were used here. Once again, Malaysia as a country, you can see that the testing budget was set at the level of only $100, if I'm not mistaken. That's right, 100. Traffic estimator shows you the total traffic available, and then I believe in terms of the platforms, all of them were used, as well as I remember. Can you switch to the next slide, please? Thank you. Targeting all platforms, and the results here are pretty interesting. In just 3 days, payout is $160 with the cost of $47, which constitutes more than 300% ROI.
with an offer like that. Can you even imagine that you can run this simple lead generation form for a nutrition offer and generate an ROI of 300%? So yeah, the basic idea here that we wanted to deliver is that testing is the key. So the more offers you test, the more offers like that you find, and with some of them you'll be able to achieve extraordinary results in terms of the correlation between costs and profit.
That's right. It's all about trial and error. It comes down to that in any kind of business, whether that's affiliate marketing, football,
Yeah.
you know, trading the financial markets. It comes down to trial and error. The more you try, the more you test, the more you learn, the more you improve. It's pretty simple.
Right, but once you start testing, once you find enough offers, let's say, and you succeed with some of them, it all comes down to optimization. So this is the next topic that we are going to discuss right now. And obviously, the first thing with optimization is paying attention to clicks and impressions that you guys got while testing your campaigns. And in order to do that in a most effective way, remember the structure of campaigns that we provided earlier today, when you divide your campaigns on geo level, platform level, and so on by creatives. So this would allow you to deactivate all of those targetings which are not performing and then focus on those which do. So when you find those targetings which perform, you might consider optimizing by zones. So this is the basic principle which has to be used with push notifications. But remember that this ad format is not that much, it doesn't depend too much on the site IDs. So the performance doesn't depend on that, because users are not browsing your content on the website whatsoever. They're just getting their notifications on the phone. So I'm not quite sure how the source of subscription gives some general characteristics to all of the users which were like subscribed there. From my perspective, it doesn't combine them in any context.
No, I agree with you, absolutely. Okay, so there is a way to adjust your campaigns. And if you guys remember that beautiful little layout of a well-structured campaign, if you follow that basic process and you see that you're running ads in the US, UK, and Germany, and you see that UK and US are performing great, however, Germany is not performing very good, instead of going through the whole campaign and you have to switch this, switch that off, you simply just pause Germany and that's it.
Yeah.
That's the whole point here, being organized, being structured. So it makes your effort, so it makes optimization effortless.
Correct, correct. So what we are saying here is that good structure is the key to success, basically.
Yes, absolutely. You can also check your targeting and bidding model before excluding zones. But like Andrei said, zones don't play such a big role here with push notifications.
Right, so now let's move forward to another tool of adjusting your costs and optimizing your results. It's obviously changing your CPC or CPM bid, and this is basically what impacts the volumes of traffic that you are getting, the costs that you are having, and eventually your ROI as a result. So don't forget to use traffic estimator, and once again, key point to remember here is that it doesn't represent the amount of traffic that you guys are getting, but it shows the total amount within the network. So yeah, this is a very important factor here.
Okay, guys, now we're going to be going over the creative side here. We're going to be going over the do's and don'ts. We're going to start off with a do, and this is an important do. Every time you have a new creative, you should have a new campaign. If you guys follow this basic rule, you're going to be able to better track your performance and compare the results of your previous campaigns quickly and effortlessly. Furthermore to this, a very important and good idea that you should apply is using your own creatives on images, texts. Try to be unique. Or if you really can't, well, then Google can always help you.
Yeah, obviously. So another thing to consider here, once again, not using misleading ads. As a matter of fact, it drives higher CTR to your campaigns, but it doesn't really boost your conversion rates. So you're basically spending your money on clicks that don't matter to you. Apart from that, you can't expect high quality from this kind of leads, because when you generate curiosity from the audience, you don't generate the high quality users who are really interested in trading, let's say, or in purchasing weight loss product or something else. So nothing comes with misleading ads but high CTR, which doesn't deliver you quality. And besides that, you might also have some issues with advertisers, with networks which are like offering these products to you, because misleading ads, they always create trust issues, complaints, and so on. So this is not something which we recommend for you to be doing.
Right, and if you don't care about the actual ads, the advertisers that you're promoting, I'm pretty sure you care about your own money. So in your interest, it shouldn't be to have a high CTR. You should have a quality CTR. And the only way to have a quality CTR is to have relevant information used when you're promoting on push notifications.
Yeah, pretty straightforward in terms of the message that you are saying, and not trying to create just curiosity from the user.
Right. On the two success cases we went over, the Malaysian one I don't understand, but I'm pretty sure the landing page and the text and stuff are both relevant because they are selling a product. But on the trading one, on the binary option one, it's an excellent example. They actually use the same stuff in the notification, in the pre-lander, which took you directly to a landing page, which was swift and effective by simply converting the user quickly. So keeping the funnel short.
Yeah.
Let's go over to another do right now. And we're going to be talking about frequency here. So you guys don't want to be boring your audience by sending the same message over and over and over again. Remember what I'm telling you here. Because what we recommend our users and what we see from success cases is using the same creative not more than 3 times in just 2 days. If you guys want to be frequent, then be frequent in changing your creatives, refreshing them, improving them, and enhancing them. That's where you should be frequent.
Yeah, correct. So make sure your audience is not bored by the ads that you are promoting. That's the key to success here.
That's right. Let's continue.
So yeah, now let's discuss just a few tools for creating nice, interesting titles and headlines for your push notifications. And the first one here that we can recommend is SEMrush. So this is not a tool which is used for native ads or push notifications in most of the cases, but we recommend that because you can identify high CTR headlines in Google paid search. So it helps you to find similar products that you might be interested in, and by checking what they are promoting, what kind of headlines that they're using, you may get inspired and get some general ideas of what can be used with push notifications as well. And another tool here that we definitely recommend to use is AdBit, and after this webinar, I believe we'll share a promo, a discount to run this software. So this one helps to identify converting native ads and copy other affiliates activity. So yeah, this must be something very helpful to you guys for sure.
So let's make this clear. SEMrush is giving a 7-day free trial.
Yeah, correct.
And AdBit is giving what? Some kind of discount?
I don't really remember, to be honest, what was the discount.
I think it's in the chat. Is it? It is in the chat.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
So you guys can check it for yourself, but it's there.
Yeah, so these are just a few tools for you guys to copy something or help you get inspired.
Right.
And now we're moving forward to our next topic, which is tricks of the trade.
And this is what I'm excited about. So there is a very important, well, probably the best thing that you guys can do with push notifications is event targeting. So the Champions League final is coming up this weekend, right?
Yeah, very soon.
So this is probably the best time to run betting ads. Or if you're selling some kind of football T-shirts or something like this, you could run that too. But that's the beauty of push notifications. You can do event targeting because people always have their phones, right? I have my phone right here. I'm not checking it, but it's here. And as soon as this webinar finishes, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click this little button here. My phone's going to light up, and it's going to show me all the messages, phone calls, emails, and Skype messages I got.
Finish the webinar, want to have a beer?
Yes.
That would be a nice targeted push notification.
See, if you could target us, that's what you should tell us. But yes, so with push notifications, that's what you guys should be doing. I've had quite a few of my clients run push notifications on selected events. But for me, the golden gates to El Dorado is the World Cup. The World Cup's coming up in less than 30 days. And that is the time where most of the men, well, I think all men, and many women are going to be watching games, especially for the countries that have qualified for the World Cup. And as I said, everyone has phones, and the people who don't have phones, they have computers, and they're going to be streaming football games. You send your promotions there. You target them then, before the game or during the game. That's the time when everyone's there and they're ready to act on ideas.
Yeah, it's actually perfect timing for you guys. For those of you who didn't test betting vertical yet, especially taking into consideration that this is generally one of the top performing right now, and also these are all these coming events, World Cup, Champions League. I mean, it's great timing. So worth of checking out some offers within the networks or from direct advertisers.
That's right.
Now, here are some few examples that just general ideas which can be used for push notifications. By providing these examples, we wanted to show that making personalized messages in push notifications is something that looks interesting. It looks attractive to the audience. Now take a look at a few of them. It's called again in New York, stay home, play this game. Food delivery in lunchtime. All kinds of things which make users feel that they get personalized native content. So try to adapt your ads in that context, I guess.
Right, try to think outside the box as well. A very good idea that I can give you, and what I would do is, if I was in your shoes, is I would get a pen and a paper. I'd sit down. First, I would find relevant offers. For example, I'll find one in betting. I'll write down betting on top of the sheet, and then I'm going to start working on texts that I can use and ideas for images that I could promote, right? Or I would check specific advertisements on Google that other guys are using, right? Big brands. Take them, change them, copy them, make them on your own, and try them out. It's the best way to try and generate some, well, pretty impressive results. I'm sure you guys already are getting some ideas, but try to be creative here. We all have this creativity bug in our head. It's just about waking it up. And push notifications, event targeting is the best time to wake it up, because it can be, it can create a big difference in your pocket.
Absolutely. And another thing which is definitely worth of using when launching your push notifications campaigns is a basic thing from one perspective, call to actions. Obviously, you always need to use those with all kinds of ads that you guys are running. But now with push notifications, there is a chance for you to use those call to action phrases on a big banner, as we discussed in one of the case studies today, to overlay like a part of the banner with the text. Now, unlike Facebook, we don't have any regulations in that terms, and basically you can use up to the whole size of the banner and get it allocated for the text message that you want to promote.
That's right. So let's go over this slide here now. We're in the tricks of the trade, and this is well, here I'm going to go over a couple of basic points that are quite important. So first, don't make your marketing funnel too long. I think I already said this, but it's quite important to try and make the user move quickly. People are very lazily on the internet, and you guys already know this. So try to make the marketing funnel or the sales funnel short and effective. As you see on your screen right now, you see push notification, white arrow, landing page. Try to do it that way. Don't use a pre-lander for every single product, especially for apps. Don't even think about using it for apps. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So as Dennis just said, if you are looking forward to promote apps with push notifications, it's definitely worth of sending users directly to the store without creating any additional redirect. But then again, to repeat ourselves like 10th time today, with some verticals, pre-landers is just another tool to hit up the interest of the audience. So
and it works really well, as with the case with binary options.
Yeah, so it all depends on your on the targets that you have. And now we are finally here in the questions and answers session, and these are the questions which we got from our social media channels, and one of these questions will get 100% bonus on their account in PropellerAds without even a need to deposit.
So give me the first one.
Okay, can push notifications be animated?
Not right now, but I'm pretty sure our very, very, very big team of tech guys is working on it.
This is actually a great idea, and I think it's definitely worth of considering as a matter of development for this ad format. And what is the average number of push notifications per offer to be sent for best A/B testing?
Well, it's a very hard it's very hard to answer such a question because every product is different and every vertical is different. But Andre explained the budgets in this webinar, and he explained how much should be used for different ideas or for different goals, more or less.
So you can take a look at the description once again, but quickly, if you are looking to bring depositors, don't expect to let's say with payouts of $250, don't expect to bring those depositors for $10, $20. You wouldn't be paid that much if it would be that easy. Now we have a good question in our questions tab here, and the question from Mindaugas, and he asks, what is the normal CTR with good quality push notifications ad? And as you may know, good quality push notifications ad is pretty different because on today's example, the CTR was different from 0.5% to 1 and something, right? And both of the campaigns were profitable, but I think something you should be aimed to is around 1%. This is pretty high if you consider about that number. But there are multiple cases when even with 0.5% in CTR, advertisers make quite positive ROIs with their campaigns.
Let me ask you the next one here, number 2. How can we create a more reliable notification with user interest?
Now, how do you get this question? How do you understand it?
Okay, I think that what this guy is asking here is how do we create a quality push notification and generate interest from a user?
Okay, so basically a performing push notification.
Right.
Yeah, well, as we discussed today, there's a number of options that you need to consider. The creative in push notification should be attractive. It should be bright and monetary signs, beautiful girls, beautiful cars, all this kind of attractive, bright, bright stuff. It always attracts the interest of an audience. So, but yeah, you need to make sure that you test multiple options and figure out where the interest of your audience is. Now, let me ask you the next one.
From Clive.
Okay, so do push notifications have better quality than regular pop traffic?
Well, the point here is that the push notifications and pop unders are a part of 2 different worlds, right? Sure. So we can't really say, because push notifications works great for many verticals, and then we have pop unders, which also works fantastically great for many verticals. So I can't really answer it, but they both work well for their respective verticals.
Absolutely. And what do you think about fraud traffic here?
I've already answered that one. It's impossible to have fraud traffic, so it's 100% real users.
Yeah, correct. Another good question we got in the chat here is if push notifications provide demographical targeting, and the exact question here was if the product need men or women with 30+ ages. Now, unfortunately, we don't provide this kind of targeting options in PropellerAds, but what you can do is do A/B testing for men and women, and then figure out what kind of, let's say, creatives are performing to you. So basically, you will find these sources to bring the relevant audience to your offer by testing relevant creatives, the creatives that would be relevant to the demographic.
Right. A basic idea is you're targeting men over 30, put it in the description.
Yeah.
Men over 30, pay attention, and then boom.
Right. That's the way to go here.
Right. Let me go with Du's question here. I want to get installs for my app on Google Play. What campaigns are good for that? Push notifications, banners, or what type?
Now with app installs, there are quite a few options in PropellerAds. First option, as we discussed, push notifications, is obviously using push notifications, and the great thing here is that You don't even need to use a pre-lender, and after clicking the notification, user gets redirected straight to the store, and this eventually creates pretty high CTR. But then in PropellerAds, there's another option, which is on-click, and with on-click, we have CPA campaigns available, so you don't really need to bother about optimizations that much with this other model. But generally, both of these work well for CPI. Now, the next question that we got here is, what's the best way to utilize global events such as and drive traffic and conversions through push notifications?
Okay, so the answer to this question is within that question. The point here is that push notifications has event targeting, and it's very powerful stuff when it comes to event targeting. We highly recommend using it for events, for different kind of events, and it works pretty well.
Yeah. Another good question which we got here in the chat. So we are switching both from social media to the live chat, and this question was about the fact if quality of traffic raises by raising your CPM bit with push notifications. And it's a really, really great question, as the quality does raise, because when you set your bid higher, in CPM campaign, for example, you get more fresh subscribers, and from our experience, fresh subscribers, they generally perform better. So by raising your rates with push notifications campaigns, you will definitely improve the quality of traffic.
That's right. Let's go with Clarence's question here. Andrzej, what is the difference between push notifications and SMS marketing?
That's a really good question, because this is something to be compared between push notifications, app notifications, SMS. This has something to do with the phones, at least in all of the cases. But push notifications, they also offer traffic for desktop. You can use icons, you can use headlines, titles, multiple different settings that you can adjust here. And apart from that, all of the users that you are targeting, they have an internet access, which is obviously a huge advantage for your advertising goals. Now, with SMS marketing, it's obviously kind of local. I think it works well with those kind of discounts for local shops and stuff like that.
Yeah, basic stuff, not too crazy there. Plus push notifications, as you said, icons, images, desktops, tablets.
Yeah, so all kinds of devices and multiple other targeting settings. So yeah, these ad formats are pretty different from my perspective.
I think, so guys, look, any question that wasn't answered, our awesome marketing team will get back to you on this. Before we go over the $100 prize, I want you guys to know that you will all be receiving an email with our promo code. Make sure, here's something very important I'm going to tell you from the previous webinar. In the previous webinar, we gave a promo code out. People could use this promo code with their next depositing and basically get extra money for their ads. And I've actually told many of my clients who didn't even attend the webinar about this promo code. But the guys didn't use it. And the time of the, well, basically it expired. The promo code expired and they lost their chance. So if you are in a position and if you are interested in running more ads and getting free money to run ads, you better use this promo code today. Well, the moment you open up your email, grab the promo code, go to your account, go to deposit, put in money, put in the promo code, and get that money locked in, because you will use it sooner or later. And you might as well get free money.
Yeah, absolutely. And the bonus that we will provide is $75 for $300 worth of your deposit, which is quite a good bonus, I guess.
Well, with push notifications, think about it like this. If you will follow our examples and start with tier 2 and tier 3 geos, you can get, traffic for 0.1 cent on CPC. So on $75, that's a lot of traffic.
Absolutely, yeah. There is tons of possibilities and opportunities that you might get with just this amount of money on your account.
And if you follow those examples and make a 300% ROI, I mean, you can start up your marketing career there and then, or just kickstart a big ball and keep growing. That $75 in a few months can turn into a few thousand or hopefully tens of thousands.
Yeah, that happens quite often on the market. And what do you think about the best question from our social media?
Well, we went over that quite a bit, even with other people here. We had a vote. And I believe that we went with number 6, right?
Yeah, number 6. You win the best question from our social media, as this is something we didn't cover within the presentation, and we do consider that was really interesting.
So Clarence Chu, Friday came early for you, bro.
$100 on your account for free.
Don't spend it all in one place.
Right. So yeah, guys, thank you very much for attending this webinar. We really hope it was useful, and the structure that we provided for the content that we presented will be applied for the most effective use of our push notifications ad format. We do expect some feedback from you, and something that you guys want to hear in the future, the content that you want to receive. So please share your opinion and let us know what has to be delivered next.
That's right. And before we say our goodbyes, I'd like to tell a big thank you to our marketing team and our technical team on behalf of me and Andre. They've done all the work. What we're doing here is a piece of cake.
Yeah.
And without them, we could not have done this.
And thanks to you guys as well. Thanks for being so active. Again, it's a pleasure talking with you, and we really appreciate your attention. Hopefully, we'll have even greater time next time.
Chris, the code is coming to your email. The marketing guys will take care of that. The email is coming to you guys soon. Thank you again for attending. Like Andre said, you guys have been a great bunch, and we can't wait to do our next webinar for you. I'd like to summarize the webinar in one simple sentence, that you guys need to keep testing things out. Try to be unique and make sure you follow that structure that we showed you guys. It's going to be very important.
So have a good rest of the week testing your campaigns in the right way.
Good luck, and may the advertising gods be with you.
Yeah, right. See you guys.
Bye-bye.